Take a look at a topographical map of South Asia, a region defined by its extremes. To the north, a wall of ice and rock. To the east, nearly impenetrable rainforests. To the west, vast arid plains. Geography has placed enormous physical friction between these lands. Nations spend billions of dollars and decades of diplomatic effort trying to push through them. We see this effort in Bhutan, tucked high into the Himalayas, in Myanmar, hidden behind dense eastern jungles, and in Afghanistan, cut off by modern geopolitical borders. Enduring strategic partnerships require more than proximity. These connections rely on an ancient foundation of cultural trust that allows nations to look past the physical friction of their borders. This is the Tiger's Nest Monastery, clinging to a cliffside 3,000 meters above the valley floor. Bhutan traces its deep spiritual roots to the 8th century, when the Indian Buddhist master Guru Rinpoche arrived to spread his teachings. Those Buddhist ties created a lasting bond of mutual respect. In 1949, that trust became a formal alliance with the Treaty of Friendship, establishing India as Bhutan's closest strategic partner. Bhutan measures its success through gross national happiness. This scale illustrates how they prioritize sustainability, environmental conservation, and community well-being alongside economic growth. This focus on well-being has influenced development philosophy in India, encouraging a move towards more sustainable regional growth. That trust supports massive infrastructure projects like the Tala hydroelectric complex. India provided the investment and engineering to build dams that now provide clean, renewable power to both nations. The India-Bhutan relationship demonstrates how a partnership thrives when it is built on shared values rather than simple economic output. To the east, the border with Myanmar stretches for over 1,600 kilometers through some of the densest jungle terrain on the planet. This traditional Burmese tapestry depicts palace and forest figures from a shared mythology. Centuries of cultural exchange brought Theravada Buddhism and the epics of the Ramayana from India into the heart of Myanmar. Traditional Yamazata performances still echo these ancient Indian stories, maintaining a cultural continuity that has survived the rise and fall of empires. This historical familiarity is the engine behind India's Act East policy. Myanmar serves as the indispensable physical gateway to the economies of Southeast Asia. This map traces the Caledon Multimodal Transit Project. To bypass the jungle, the route crosses the Bay of Bengal to Sitwe Port, then moves up the Caledon River into the Indian state of Mizoram. Engineering these ports and river routes turns a forest barrier into a doorway, providing landlocked Indian states with a direct path to global trade. Afghanistan presents a different challenge. Since the partition of 1947, India and Afghanistan have no direct, accessible land border. Their connection instead rests on the ancient Uttara Path. This northern highway once linked the Ganges Plains to Central Asia, facilitating a massive flow of goods and Buddhist philosophy through Gandhara. This is one of the giant Buddhas of Bamiyan, carved into the sandstone cliffs in the 6th century. These figures symbolized a thriving Buddhist culture that predated the region's 7th century transition to Islam. This civilizational footprint shapes modern policy. India views Afghanistan as a vital cultural bridge and the strategic gateway to the broader Central Asian region. To solve the lack of a shared border, India financed the Zaranj-Delaranj Highway. This animated route connects the landlocked interior to the Iranian port of Chabahar, granting Afghanistan sea access while bypassing blockades. Massive road-building projects across foreign territories are only possible when they are driven by this level of historical depth and strategic necessity. In this macro perspective, we see India's neighborhood as an interconnected web. These pulsating lines represent the real-world flow of energy, trade, and culture. This regionalism is built on 3 pillars: Bhutan's shared values, Myanmar's physical connectivity, and Afghanistan's historical depth. Lasting geopolitical strength relies on these cultural foundations. When neighbors share a foundation of history and values, their cooperation becomes more resilient than any temporary political agreement. Pick one of these 3 nations. Research a specific cultural festival or tradition they share with India today, and you'll see the living history that continues to drive these modern strategies.